All right. We are back again. This is Knowledge by Nikki and Nikki Smith with 1K. This is another great video from our Money Matters series because why? Money matters. You know, I am often amazed at when I hear people in my industry teaching, what do they call them, six-figure classes or millionaire classes, how to be a millionaire, this, and that. And it's interesting because it often comes from people who are not doing just that. And let's say, for argument's sake, even if they are, let's say they are doing six figures, upper six figures. Let's say they are doing seven figures, a million, upper millions. It doesn't mean anything until the smoke clears. Gross profit and net profit, before taxes net profit, they're not the same thing, guys. You can aspire to make as much money as you believe you can possibly make in your lifetime. But if you do not control the amount of expenses that come out of that, fixed or otherwise, if you don't start looking at debt reduction, if you don't start looking at how to make sure that when all is said and done and all the smoke clears, that my net profit, even after taxes, is still on the plus side and not on the minus side, it doesn't matter how much money you make. And let me say this, it is not just about making more money. There are some disciplines that come when you start making your income go here and your expenses go here. There are some disciplines. There are some things you're going to have to say no to. You're going to have to learn that word no. There are some emotional tendencies that we sometimes get into. Some of us eat and we're spending money on food. Some of us shop. Some of us, men buy electronics or whatever it is that you do. There are some money habits that if you want to get on the upside of this, I don't care how much money you make, you are going to have to start embracing, or it's not going to matter. That's the reason why we see people that are rich and then they're broke. That's the reason why we see people that are millionaires and then they're not millionaires. And I'm going to go to this slide real quick so we can see what that is here. So we can actually get to that part of the video. This is going to be video 6. All right. You got to see our last video too. It's our savings video. I'm going to teach you how to save 10 grand in a year and you won't even feel it. It's amazing, guys. Another part of our Money Matters Knowing Your Numbers series. Now, I'm on video 6. And actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of myself. I'm actually on video, yes, I am on how to do a budget, which is actually, it is video 6. I'm on video 6. I want to talk to you all more about what I just said. I hear it all the time. And, it's amazing to me. I even hear people say, oh, wow, I just got a new car. I just got a new BMW. I just got a new Benz, I just got a new Rover. All that's great. And I tell people that's all fine, but did you pay for it? Or do you just have a car note? Because the way I look at it now, I had all that. So I fully understand what it means to have all of that and just be very debt heavy. I understand what that means. That is not the way we want to progress in this industry because, again, this industry, I've said it in many videos before this industry is extremely unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. So you have to make sure that the debt reduction side stays at a minimal and then you can make more income and actually see it because the gross profit and the net profit have to be way apart from each other for you to see some light at the end of the tunnel. So when somebody tells me that, oh, I just bought a new car, the first thing I wonder is if I'm not in a position to ask, what type of car note do you have? What type of insurance do you have? Because for me, I just see more debt. Unless you walked in there and you paid for it. Now, I'm impressed then. If you walked in there and you said, here's $60,000 for this car because I don't want no debt. Now we talking. Now we're talking because that says that you are mindful, or even if you said, I'm going to put half down and pay the rest off in a year. Okay. Now we're talking. But to keep 5, 6, 7 years of debt in an unpredictable field such as ours is not always the best answer. So let's get right to it, okay? Let's get right to it. Here is our board. Let me move the board over here so you all could see it a little better here. Here is our board. And the board basically is going to break down what those of you all that have the book, you should already have this in your book. And this is the Knowing Your Numbers book here. Okay, if you don't have this, you really want to get it because there's a lot of things talked about on here that we don't necessarily have videos on, but we have really great information on. Okay, so you want to make sure you get this book. If you already have this book, then you clearly have the videos because one doesn't come without the other. Okay, let's talk about that though. Let's talk about gross profit versus net profit. Let me get all the way up here. Okay, let me find, where am I at here? I'm losing myself here. Where am I at? Where am I at? Gross profit versus net profit. Here we go. So when we talk about gross profit, I'm really trying to find myself, guys. I'm losing my place here. When we talk about gross profit, we're going to again go back, and our goal is to be able to look at all of your expenses. That's what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that we see all of your expenses. So let me get to that page. I've actually went way further here. Let me see, where am I here? That's a cash flow projection. We're going to learn that too, guys. We're going to learn how to do a cash flow projection. I'm trying to find where I lost my place, guys. That's all right. We have several other videos that we actually want you to take a look at. We have our first video, which is going to deal with 3-month projections, how we're going to, everything takes a quarter. So you want to be able to look at your money in quarters. That is what you want to be able to do, guys. So look at it in quarters. Okay, so I'm going to go through now with this video. I am not sure where it is on my screen, guys. It looked like it just like disappeared. It was just right here and now it's gone. So that's okay because I'm going to, here we go. All right, here we go. I'm going to teach you how to do or how to understand your gross profit versus your net profit. Now, this is a very simple explanation, and let me get this more into the screen so you all can see this really well. Okay, my camera keeps kind of turning here. So let's get this into the screen. So you all should be able to see that pretty good. Okay, when we talk about gross profit versus net profit, let me just pan this way just a little bit. Okay, we want to talk about all the money you bring in, everything. You can see here, I've broken it down for you. So we're talking about revenue, income, sales, rent, commissions, retail. I don't care if you got a vending machine. I don't care if you sell wigs. I don't care what it is. Everything that you bring in on the revenue side needs to be put in a spreadsheet where you can see it. So we did an estimate, you know, everybody's like 6 figures. I'm like, okay, see, it's about keeping it. It's not just about making it. How do you keep it? So when we come up with our total with that, we come up with 100K, 100,000, okay? Nice round figure of $100,000. So we come up with that. Then we have to look at, we talked about this when we talked in our video, I think it was our third video, and it's called COGS. COGS in the retail world, or in we call the regular world, is called cost of goods and sales. But in our industry, it's called the cost of goods serviced because we make our money off of servicing. Now, obviously, retail will be considered sales too, but most of our money is made in servicing. So then we have our gross profit. That's how we come up with our gross profit. This has to be removed because these are the things that you cannot do here without. So when we talk about that, what are we talking about? We talk about products, talking about towels, and anything that falls into that category. Products, towels, you know what all of those things are. We can't do hair without it. Our business cannot function. We cannot make $1 without having these things accessible to us. So this becomes really important in the cog of the wheel, okay? So look at where we're at. $100,000. That's what we brought in. We're 6 figures. But then look at this. That's easy. $50,000 sucked up 50% of our profit. Just like that. And that can happen, guys. Really easily that can happen. Then that gives us what we call our gross profit. So, okay, our gross profit is we actually made $50,000, but the story isn't over because we still have to go further than that. Then we talk about we still got to pay bills. We still have to pay rent. We have to pay utilities. We have to pay insurance. COGS are also another name for those are what we call variable expenses. That means they vary. They're not always going to be the same amount of money. It depends on the business, how much you run out of, how much you need. That will change. Fixed expenses, your lights, your gas, your water, your rent, your insurance, if you have wages, salaries, whatever it is that you have, that doesn't change. that stays the same. So when you talk about fixed expenses, that's a given. That's even if these change. These, you can change these a little bit, but these are easier changed than this. Because fixed expenses, if you use X amount of electricity, unless you're going to stop working on certain days or stop people from making money, that's pretty much going to be what it's going to be. If you're going to pay a certain amount of rent for a certain amount of square footage or a mortgage for a certain price of a property, yeah, you can, eventually over time maybe bring it down, but they're fixed for a reason because they don't really have that much room to change. So these are not your focus unless you're paying for things that are unnecessary and you can consolidate. But these are where, and we did this in the video we talked about in video 3, was called What is COGS? What is that? How do those work in terms of taking from our income? This is something that you definitely can work on and minimize, okay, and reduce some of that debt. But look at what happens. $25,000. See that? $25,000 took up all of 50% of the money that was left over in gross profit. Now, mind you, we have not paid one lick of taxes. Not one. You haven't paid taxes at all. So depending on how you file, married but separate, married, single, dependents, all of that is going to change this number. So you see how quickly 6 figures can go to nothing, because depending on what the taxes are here, and mind you, there's no miscellaneous in here. There's no life stuff. There's no something just happened. There's none of that in here. This is just basic bare bones stuff. Taxes can be figured at a 15.3% rate, depending on where your tax bracket is. You're going to be somewhere around there. So if I just did the math with $50,000, let's just do some easy math here. $50,000, and I subtracted 15.3% in taxes. I've already taken it down to now what's called, no, 50,000, 25,000. I'm sorry. $25,000. I forgot we had to take that 25 off. If I subtract the 15.3% based off of that income, then I'm looking at about $21,175 for the year. Now, if you break that down into months, we haven't bought any food. Do y'all see any food in there? You see anything for kids? You don't see gas. You don't see car notes. You don't see any other type, disability insurance. You don't see school tuitions. You don't see any of that, right? And we're already from 100,000. We're down to 21,175. So if we just divide that by 12, that means we got $1,764 to the good for other stuff. Now, if you got a $500-600 car note that you're putting maybe, I'd say $50 to $60 a week in gas in, maybe. If you have children that have to eat every day, and you have to eat every day, and your house has to have the grass cut, and your business has to have cleaning, and you get where I'm going? That $764 will be gone before you can blink. Before you can blink. The ultimate goal is, and we're going to teach you how to do a budget in our next video. The ultimate goal with this is to be able to keep at least minimally. How do I keep 50% of my money? That's the goal here. How do you keep 50%? How do you do that? Because that's what you're going to have to learn, how to keep 50% of your money. How do you do that? That is something that becomes incredibly difficult, and I can tell you here is where you can start doing some reduction. I haven't put in here credit cards, nothing. Any type of credit cards, loans, anything else that you have, that is going to eat away at this $1,764. Even cars, you need to consider when you buy a car. You need to consider, what is the car note going to be? What is the insurance going to be? We're going to teach you that in a minute in another video that's going to be called our budget video. So this is going to be really important. How do you know how to do that? That's going to be important. You have to know how to do that. And this, guys, is video 5. I wanted to make sure. Video 4. Our savings video is video 5. This is actually video 7. That's what this is. Video 6 is actually our, let's make sure we're in order here. Video 6 is actually going to be our budget video. So this is actually video 7. So look for video 7 on teaching you more about gross profit versus net profit. So the goal is not always just to make more money. It's learning how to keep more of what we have. Because if you don't get that discipline, as this number goes up, all of these are going to go right up with it. Because you're going to think, I got more money to spend, so I'm going to spend more money. So let's aspire. Clearly, we all want to make more money. But more than that, we want to be able to keep it. Okay? Why? Because money matters. All right? This is Knowledge by Nikki, 1K. I'll see you on the next video.